Hello, good evening. This is Meenakshi Banerjee, and once again, I'm going to try to explain you a very famous poem from English literature. That's The Lake Isle of Innisfree, composed by William Butler Yeats, a very famous English poet, but he infers his ideas from Irish literature, also Irish by his nativity. Uh, the poet, in the present of the poem, is living in England, and he is totally fed up with the chaotic, noisy, polluted city of London. Also reflects the 19th century culture. The materialism, the noise, the chaos, the pollution already taking shape. So the poet here wants to withdraw himself from this chaotic, noisy life and wants to retreat to a place, an Irish destination, Innisfree. It's an island town which is mostly uninhabited. He wants to find a recluse in that island, and there is some inference which tells us that the poet has spent a part of his childhood in Innisfree and he's got enough experience of living there. So he kind of wants to resign his city life and go back to Innisfree. This is a beautiful poem, heavy nostalgia in this poem. Okay, so now that I explain you every line of it, the first line says, I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree. Now the poet says, I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree. You can see go being repeated. There is poetic device, figures of speech repetition. And a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. The poet plans to live by himself in his own quiet company, in his own peaceful company, and he desires, this is his wishful thinking, to have a small cabin built there. He wants to build himself a small cottage of clay, of loose soil, of clay, and wattles, dry straw, dry bamboo stems. And 9 bee rows will I have there, a hive for honeybee. The poet wants to make himself self-sufficient there, self-reliant, because he won't be able to buy himself groceries and other things. So he wants to grow his own crops. So he wants to grow his beans. Okay, 9 bee rows he wants to cultivate, which should be enough for him. And a hive for honeybee to supplement him with honey. Okay, and live alone in the bee loud glade. Bee loud glade exemplifies um, sound imagery, and the poet wants to spend um, his time in the Lake Isle of Innisfree under the bee loud glade means the bees, which are um, kind of sounding, and they are humming and creating a backdrop for the poet there. Coming to the next stanza. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. The poet says that he shall have some peace there. The poet goes there looking for peace, for tranquility. For peace comes dropping slow, personification. Peace is coming, peace has been treated, as a human who should be coming. So, and peace coming slow. Peace comes dropping slow, because peace is what wraps the island of Innisfree. Dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. And peace comes from the vales of the morning. Now, this is also personification, because morning is personified as a young woman who's wearing a veil. So this is personification. Peace comes dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings means towards the evening. I mean, it is all peaceful through the morning and to up to the evening, because it is in the evening or towards the midday and then graduating towards evening where the cricket sings. The cricket is another member of the grasshopper family, which sings, and it sings in the peak of the sunny day. There midnight is all a glimmer and noon a purple glow. Midnight all a glimmer means he's imagining that in the Lake Isle of Innisfree, midnight is all a glimmer. The midnight is all a glimmer means this is a very beautiful description of the night sky, which is studded by stars and moons. Stars and moon, and it is casting a glimmer on the island town. So the town is illuminated by the stars. Therefore, it is glimmering under the studded sky. So midnight is all a glimmer, and evening and the noon a purple glow. Now the noon has been beautifully described, color imagery. The moon a purple glow. Purple glow means why the noon is being called purple, because it could be the radiating sun, the yellow sun, and the shade of the trees that grow on this island. They could amalgamating and causing a purplish undertone. So the noon a purple glow. Okay, the evening full of linnet swings, and the evenings are full with the buzzing noise of the linnet. Linnet is a bird, so the linnet, which is said to be a singing bird. So the evenings are full of the sound imagery of the linnet bird. So it is buzzing with the songs of linnet. The evenings. So this is how beautifully YB Yeats is describing the morning, the noon, the midnight, the evenings of that place in Innisfree. Okay, come to the third stanza. I will arise and go now for always night and day. The poet says that he is going to resign the London life purely, totally forever, and he shall leave. He will arise and go now for always night and day. There you have oxymoron, you know, for always night and day. It is oxymoron because night, day stand in sharp contrast. So for always night and day, I hear the lake water lapping with the low sounds by the shore. If sound imagery once again, where the lake water is lapping by the shore, and he can hear the soft overlapping noise of the lake water, which is causing a sound effect. And the poet is also imagining, reminiscing his time, his experience at the shore. So he's already imagining the beautiful sound of the water overlapping, softly lapping, overlapping in his mind behind. So he can already hear it in, in his mind's ear. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep heart score. Last two lines, as if they are breaking a suspense. The last two lines, they raise they break open as if a secret. Okay, where exactly is the poet in the reality of this poem? He's standing on the grey pavements of London. So while I stand on the roadway, standing by the side of the road, on the pavements grey. On the pavements grey means why are the pavements called grey? Because they are ridden with dust and pollution of the city life. Because they are ridden with dust and pollution of the city life, so the pavements have been called grey. Pavements are the footpath. I hear it in deep heart score means the poet says that he can hear already the beautiful overlapping noise of the seashore or the waves overlapping on the sea at the seashore in Innisfree, in the core of his deep heart, in the core of his heart, in the deep core of his heart, I should say. So, deep core of his heart means to say that down deep in his heart, he's already reached there. That his destination is Innisfree, the Irish town. So this was the explanation of the poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comments. I'll try my best to explain it to you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.